Next on Worcester News tonight, Worcester firefighters discover a body when responding to a call this morning. Police are now investigating the suspicious death. Plus, several towns across Worcester County are using aerial spraying to combat Triple E carrying mosquitoes, why experts say the disease is showing up more this year. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. A cooler, cloudy day across central Massachusetts, but it looks like we'll see a warm up for Wednesday. Let's get a first look at our local forecasts for more.
I'm meteorologist Chris Gloninger. A much warmer day coming up for Wednesday. If you are getting away out towards the Cape, for example, mid-70s, a lot of sunshine, 80s into the Whites, into the Berkshires, also for the Maine beaches. So we are a lot warmer tomorrow, and as a whole across New England, I think 86 should do it for an average high temperature, and then a couple of cool days to wrap up the work week. You can see Thursday and Friday both into the upper 60s. So there is a line of showers and thunderstorms that will cross the area going into Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. Once we clear back out, we may see a few more showers return on Saturday morning with a warm front, and that will push our temperatures into the mid-70s and eventually into the low 80s by Sunday afternoon. The next round of warmth could be fairly long-lived. In fact, we're expecting a prolonged stretch of temperatures at or above normal for this time of year. We'll talk much more about that in the 10-day forecast, and I'll let you know about the pattern change that could be coming our way for the second half of the month. All of those details are coming up in a few minutes.
Worcester police on scene of a suspicious death this morning. Detectives worked around an area of woods off of Granite Street where a body was found. Police say this is an active investigation. Our Erin Keating joins us in Worcester now with more. Erin.
Olivia, the area here is usually quiet. Police are giving little information about the body found here on Granite Street. People who work nearby say the area is typically remote.
I've been here 20 years. We've never had anything like this.
Deborah Young watched as investigators examined the woods near her work at Standard Auto Wrecking on Granite Street. Firefighters told police they found a body there while responding to a fire around 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. Young says the road is typically very quiet.
You just wonder, how did they do that without anybody driving by and seeing them? But it is because this street is so out there, you know, it's just nobody's around.
James Vega lives in the area near Granite Street. He says investigators on the scene seem to be upset by the discovery.
I saw one investigator and then I saw a police officer who came out and he was actually tearing up after he saw what had happened and then he drove away.
Worcester police confirmed the death appears to be suspicious. The medical examiner was on scene and removed the body. Young and contractor Jeffrey Coy say the area has had issues with illegal dumping, but nothing ever like this.
When we hear of the illegal dumping and stuff like that, our minds instantly go to foul play of some sort.
Suspicious activity makes me even more nervous because we work right here, and I have heard it happen in Worcester, but not right here. This is my backyard. It's too close to home.
District Attorney Joe Early was on scene but left shortly after he arrived. We are still waiting to hear about the identity of the person found. Worcester police say they will release information once it becomes available. They are asking anyone with information to contact them. In Worcester, Erin Keating, Worcester News Tonight.
The Department of Justice is suing a Worcester landlord. They say he sexually harassed female tenants. The suit alleges Mohan Prashad violated the Federal Fair Housing Act with incidents dating back to 2009. The suit also names David Besaw, a registered level 3 sex offender who has worked for Prashad since at least 2014. He is also accused of harassing and assaulting female tenants, but some tenants in one of Prashad's properties say they have never had an issue before and are surprised by the allegations.
He's nothing but a stand-up person. He's a very nice person. Half the time my rent's late, I call him up, he comes and picks it up. He doesn't pressure anybody.
The lawsuit seeks monetary damages for the victim, civil penalties, and a court order barring future discrimination. A Worcester Superior Court judge is arrested on a charge of domestic assault and battery. She was in court today over the alleged physical fight with her wife. Abby Niscoda has more from the judge's arraignment today.
This is Judge Shannon Friesen giving closing argument advice on her social media. But Hudson police say Friesen tried to argue with them when they arrested the Superior Court judge over the weekend for domestic assault. The alleged victim in the case, her wife. According to authorities, a passerby noticed a fight happening outside the couple's home in Hudson on Sunday night. When police showed up, Friesen's wife told them she was holding their 4-year-old daughter when Friesen yanked her hair so hard her head pulled backwards. But when police went to arrest Friesen, they say she was far from cooperative, allegedly telling them, quote, "Don't touch me. Get your hands off of me. I'm a superior judge. I'm a superior judge. You can't arrest me. Let me go." Friesen is now on paid leave from the trial court and was arraigned by one of her colleagues on Monday. She was released on her own recognizance and ordered to stay away from her wife. No one answered the door when we stopped by her home, but her attorney released a statement on her behalf, saying in part, quote, "Judge Friesen denies the charges and hopes for a speedy resolution in court. The couple looks forward to putting this unfortunate matter behind them and moving forward as a family." Because the couple's child was present during all of this, the Department of Children and Families has also been contacted and is currently investigating. Friesen is due back in court next month. In Hudson, I'm Abby Nesgo to Worcester News Tonight.
A trial date is set for the man charged with kidnapping and attempting to murder a 7-year-old girl in 2017. The Worcester County District Attorney's Office says Joshua Hubert's trial will begin on March 30th in Superior Court. Prosecutors say he was a friend of the family and allegedly took the girl from her home. They say Hubert strangled the child and threw her off of a bridge into Lake Quinsigamond. She survived and was able to swim to shore. Hubert was released on $50,000 bail in 2018. Worcester's Election Commission predicts a low turnout for today's preliminary election, but it isn't stopping candidates from campaigning. By 1 o'clock this afternoon, the polling site at the Unitarian Universalist Church said they had seen 177 voters. Incumbent and new school committee candidates were out campaigning, hoping to bring in the votes. The school committee hasn't had a preliminary election in decades.
Seems to be a very enthusiastic crowd. You know, people go driving by and beeping and everything. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. So we'll see how it goes.
The real test will come in the general election in November, where really the turnout should be higher than today. Those folks who vote all the time are coming out today to vote, and we thank them for their votes.
There are more than 50 polling sites throughout the city of Worcester. Polls are open until 8 p.m. tonight. Several communities across the state are now considered at either high or critical risk for EEE. It's keeping the Central Mass Mosquito Control Project busy for the summer. Our Chandler Walsh joins us now with more. Chandler.
Olivia, before this, the state hadn't seen a human case of EEE in several years. The Central Mass Mosquito Control Project says it's shocking anytime there's a human case, but it's on trend with the climate here.
Log everything, put the data in.
The Central Mass Mosquito Control Project has sorted up to 80,000 mosquitoes in their lab this year. Executive Director Timothy Deschamps says they saw early indicators EEE could be a concern.
EEE and West Nile virus are in the bird population, so we do track what's happening in Florida as well as New Jersey up into Massachusetts. So we sometimes can get an early indication if some of these birds are starting to show positives down in those areas.
Deschamps says EEE tends to show up every 7 to 10 years.
Our last significant year was 2012, and we are now 7 years later. It does tend to run in 2 to 3 year cycles once it does begin. So again, it'll be something we'll certainly be watching for the next couple of years.
This is the time of year where people are more at risk for the disease. The state has 7 confirmed human cases in Massachusetts and 1 death. It has communities who aren't part of Central Mass Mosquito Control looking to join.
People are out and about this time of year and they want to play their sports and take their walks and all that kind of thing. And then, you see these clouds of mosquitoes around.
Uxbridge is at critical risk for EEE with 1 confirmed case in a horse. Interim town manager Peter Heckenbleichner may also request emergency spraying before they're able to join the project.
Going to really rely on the project's expertise and recommendation on that.
Central Mass Mosquito Control has doubled its building space and increased operations. Deschamps says it's due to the growing demand for services. He says factors like climate change have made mosquitoes more prevalent over the last decade or so.
The environment is getting warmer, so mosquito species have been moving northward. Unfortunately, some of these are disease-transmitting type of species.
Uxbridge residents need to approve joining the Central Mass Mosquito Control project at a town meeting before the town can make the move. Deschamps says the risk of Triple E won't go away until the first hard frost, which typically happens in mid-October. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
More aerial spraying for portions of Worcester at risk for Triple E and West Nile virus is set to begin tonight between 7:15 and 4:30 in the morning. The town of Sudbury is also doing a second round of mosquito spraying. It comes after a 5-year-old girl tested positive for Triple E. She's in the hospital in critical condition. Several communities throughout the state will get additional aerial spraying over the next week. This includes many communities in Worcester, such as Auburn, Oxford, Webster, and Uxbridge. Cultivate currently operates a medical and adult use marijuana shop in Leicester. The dispensary is looking to open another location in Worcester. Cultivate is holding a public hearing tonight at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Worcester. They're hoping to open a second location on Southbridge Street near Holy Cross and Polar Beverages.